It is December 31st. It is the last day of 2024, which means there's a whole bunch of videos that are going to be coming. But the most important one right now is to do a closeout of my December budget. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. This is A Life Well Spent. My name is Kelly, and on this channel, I document my financial journey. As I said earlier, it is December 31st, which means it's time to wrap up the budget for the month of December. I cannot believe that we're here. Um, yeah, I've actually been pretty MIA this December, if you haven't noticed. I think I did a video outlining my budget. I might have done a Transfer Tuesday video for December. I'm not entirely sure I did because, to be perfectly honest, other than transferring to my investment accounts, there's not been a lot of transferring because I don't know about y'all, but I feel like all I did was set money on fire in November and December. So I feel like I had no money to be transferring anywhere or to do anything with. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of nuts. We'll talk about maybe some changes I want to make next year. So I'm not kind of doing that. But anyway, the other reason, like, I didn't even do weekly transaction videos, and I realize now it kind of sounds, I guess I could go back and do them, but it seems sort of like a moot point at this point now that it's the 21st. But I promise I had a very, very good reason for basically falling off the face of the earth. And well, you know what? I'll just let past me explain that.
So, yeah, as you can hear in my voice, I feel like I've got like Phoebe's like cold, sexy singing voice. Yeah, this is why there's no videos. I am a hot mess right now. I'm COVID positive and I can't even I was gonna say I can't even talk very long before I have to cough. And it hurts to cough. It hurts a lot because it's all like right here. And also, I have a pounding headache that I cannot seem to shake. And it's not, I've taken stuff to like clear up my sinuses. And so even though I sound really congested, I don't feel congested. But also my head hurting makes me think that maybe I am a little bit, but like I'm breathing free through my nose, so I don't know, but I know that this month has been a chaotic mess, and I was hoping to kind of catch up on some stuff over break. Like I missed the last day of work before break because I tested positive and I had fever and all that, so this is where I'm at. I don't know. I'm trying to film videos about like my goals and all that stuff, and it's just not just not happening. Yeah.
So yeah, really sick, really, really sick. And in a way that made it difficult to do any work. I actually even struggled like going online and staring at a screen. I have no idea what that was playing in the background. I can only think like I had stuff, I was like going down YouTube rabbit holes here and there. So it was probably something like that that just didn't really have any audio, but it was like a tour of something. It kind of sounds like that kind of music. That would be my guess. But yeah, yeah, it's a hot mess and miserable. Absolutely miserable. I finally started feeling better like a couple days ago, and so then I was sort of scrambling to get everything around, and I just did not get around to filming anything yet. So, yeah, with that in mind, I don't know. I don't really want to go back and film some things at this point. I think I'm just gonna, film what I need to film moving forward, and I just won't really worry about like any of the transfer. Well, like I said, there were there weren't really any transfers. But I can get into, my goals and my wrap ups for the year and things like that in subsequent videos. Like I have enough to film. I don't know that I want to go back and try to film other things that I missed while sick. So, with that in mind, without any further ado, I guess I'll show you how I ended December. All right, let's see where we're at. So, my budgeted income, $3,871.50. My actual was off by $92.56. I legitimately don't know how. Like, the same thing happened to me last year, and I don't understand it. It must be something that my HR is doing that's like somehow corrective, but like for whatever reason, my first paycheck in December is a little off from all the other ones. And I don't know why. And I think it's only me. Maybe not. Maybe just haven't talked to enough people yet. But like the people that I normally talk to about money that I work with, like didn't have the issue. And like, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know why it would be any different. Literally nothing changed. I wasn't like, "Hey, take more money out for this," or "Hey, take less money out for that." Like it I don't know. I got nothing. Whatever. So, a little off, but okay. I got 261.89 from my mother. I technically count it as extra income or as income from her. She pays me up front for some things. You can see she gives me $105. That's contributes to a couple of different things. And then the rest of this was just money, I think, that she still owed me from different stuff. Like I had paid for everything on our trip, so she paid me some of that back. If I go, if I'm at the store and I buy something for her and, she'll pay me back and stuff like that. So that tends to almost always be more than what I plan for, but it's usually a reimbursement. It's not she's not just giving me money. Okay, and then $852.10 of miscellaneous extra income. And given that number, I have a feeling that I must have put some of the money that she gave me from our trip into that instead. Let me see that. Yeah, I did. I don't really know why. Like, whoop. Oh, that's a little bit more like it. The miscellaneous extra income then is typically like when I get my tax return, if there's a refund due, anytime that I'm using like a gift card, or if one of my friends, like if I buy something, my friends pay me back, what have you, I will put it in there. I was to say my mother's I usually just put straight in there, and I don't really know why. Anyway, so my total actual income, $4,892.93. My mortgage, $647.09. That is for the principal, the insurance and taxes escrowed in there, and the interest owed on that. My electric bill is $42.53. Probably helps a little bit that you're not in your house for like a week, because this really is kind of mostly based on like kind of, I don't know, maybe like 2/3 of the way from November through 2/3 of the way through December. So yeah, the first, or like the last week of November, almost the first week of this cycle, I wasn't in my house because I was in the Bahamas. Natural gas, 66.64, kind of same thing, but also it's been a very warm season, so I just didn't have as much to spend. So $64.64. $63 sewer, that's a flat rate. $23.34 for water. So I budgeted $18.97, which is the minimum usage. And I'm not really sure what happened. I did see on our community Facebook, people were complaining about the water bill suddenly jumping up. My guess is they probably don't read the meter all that often. And when they do, they're like, "Oh wait, this is really off," and make an adjustment or something. I don't know. It's funny to me that I was here a week less and still went over on water. So, like, that doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. All right, internet, $58. That's actually going up next year to $61, which is annoying, but yeah, okay. Cell phone, $101.69. I was really not considering the fact that we were going to be using them abroad when I actually planned this. And I didn't budget appropriately. That's what that comes down to. 279.86 for groceries, which I'm pretty fairly impressed with, except for the fact that I make a lot of my Christmas gifts and stuff like that, so some of that would have come out of that fund. Um, so I am closer to that than I was thinking I would be. But considering, like I said, like a week's worth of time, I wasn't eating at all. And what definitely did not help was me getting sick, because whenever I get sick, like I will run head first into whatever like junk food that I can find, and or easy to make meal, so that, yeah, fortunately for me, I thought I was getting sick right before Thanksgiving and stocked up on a bunch of things. Then I ended up not really getting sick. Was sort of getting sick, but not really fully getting sick. And then, so I didn't need all of the stuff, but it definitely got me good last week. Yikes, spikes. All right. My life insurance thing, it comes out every quarter, $7.50. It's really like an accident insurance policy. And I want to cancel it on the one hand, but on the other hand, it really is only $30 a year. And I feel like, I know this is irrational and illogical, but I feel like I'm tempting fate if I just cancel it. Gas, $200, budgeted, and $81.86 spent. Which a lot of that had to do with the fact that I was sick for like a week and a half and didn't go anywhere. So that's helpful. And even like in November, I wasn't here. And I was super, super busy just getting stuff around for like the holidays and things like that. I make gifts for my friends. So I think all of that just kind of kept me home. I didn't really go much of anywhere or do much of anything. House and garden, I spent $40.98. Some of that was just some stuff that I bought for around the house. Restaurant, $42.44. Again, helped by the fact that, for a week and a half I was sick, and another week and a half I was on vacation. So we just didn't really go anywhere out anywhere to eat. Even that, I think, was like mostly fast food, because I was like starving and thought, I'll just grab this quick to eat. But actually, when I'm almost never under on that category. So happy with that. $41.85. Truthfully, that was an absolute waste. I don't think I went to the gym once in December. Too sick and too busy. Not great. Personal, $224.58. Miscellaneous, $116.22. Like I said earlier, I feel like I just set money on fire this month. $100 to my niece's brokerage account, $149.53 to my brokerage account. I got to the point where I think, so back up to last like February or March, I realized that in maxing out my HSA and my Roth IRA, I was close to $1,000 a month in investment accounts. And I was like, why don't I just add more? Well, I am maxing out the Roth and the HSA, so there really weren't that many places that I could add to. And I didn't really want to do my 403b at that point. So I had the brokerage account set up, and my initial plan was like, once I had met all these other goals, what I would do with my money is send all of the money over to my brokerage account and just kind of add to it. Like, here's a place to put extra money that's lying around that I just don't have any other place for. And I have just not been to that point where I had leftover money that still wasn't doing something, right? Like when I was in debt payoff mode, any leftover money went to go to paying off debt and paying down my, at the time, credit cards and a personal loan and things like that. My current goal this year, I had some sinking funds I was trying to top off, and then everything else was going towards my emergency fund. I wanted to bolster my emergency fund and get it up to $20,000. It was a stretch goal for me, but I was like, okay, that's what I want that to be. And then my next thing, Once I hit the $20,000, my next goal is going to be saving up another $20,000 for a car. So in my mind, I was like years away from being able to put money in a brokerage account. But I thought about it and I was like, I really like the idea of doing $1,000 a month. So I was doing $70.83, which is what put me at the $1,000 mark. And then I got to the end of the year. I accidentally made an extra payment because I was counting backwards, I think, because by the time I'd thought of it, I think it was like February or March, and I was like, well, then I should go back. So it was 1,000 every month, and then it's 12,000. And I think I put 3 payments in instead of 2 because I was thinking that, like, I was thinking at it we'd already made 3 payments in the year. So, anyway, extra payment made, go through, and I got to the end of this year and got to December and realized, "Oh, I'm a little shy of having put $1,000 in here this year. Why don't I make that an even 1,000?" Do you sense a pattern with me? Anyway, so that was why it's $149.53 instead of the old $70.83. $500 went into my Roth IRA. That maxed it out for the year. Spent $188.46 on stuff for my mom. Most of that is like when I make a Sam's run. She doesn't have her Sam's Club membership anymore, so I just buy what she needs. She pays me for it, and so on. All in all, like, I'm not really crying about it. That's the big bulk of where I went over. So $300 really, like, I don't even know why I bother to do this because with my mother's money, it doesn't make sense. But so I'm not really over all of that. I am mostly just over there. I'm $167 over budget. I can live with that considering how much money I spent, obnoxiously spent. So now, fortunately, a lot of what I spent came out of some things out of my sinking funds that I already sent. And oh, sorry. I did send $2.92 to my HSA because that maxes it out for the year. However, I did my math. I did my math wrong. And guess what? I still did my math wrong because I think I'm like 6 cents over. It's so annoying. I have to take it out. Oh well. Fix it for later. Part of the problem is I had a certain amount set up, and I've talked about this in previous videos. I had been just because the like adjustments have been like, oh, it's $100, it's $50, whatever. So I was getting to the point where I was like, you know what? I don't want to keep going down there every freaking year and making this change with HR. Like, I will just pay myself it. I'll just do, distribute my own after tax dollars in there. They'll take the taxes out later. It's fine. And then I realized that I was also losing out on other tax benefits throughout, like state taxes, Medicare, Social Security, all that stuff. So I was like, crap, I really need to make that change. So I made the change and was trying to then kind of calculate and figure out how much I needed to do. So anyway, fixed it for next year. But for this year, I needed that much to top it off. And actually, turns out I needed less than that. All right, I was actually able to put $1,352.60 in my emergency fund. Super excited about that. Medical fund, I put 126 in because I got some reimbursements from a dental appointment where I spent $220. Subscriptions, I put 155 in. I only took out $94.98. Nittany Lion Club, $17. I don't take anything out of that until next month. I spent $147.56 out of my giving fund. It's Christmas time. It's the time of year we buy and donate things. So that's what that was. And I think some of that was a friend of mine like lost her house in the hurricanes that hit Florida. So I think the one that hit Tampa, because that's where she's living right now. Car insurance, $59. I pay that out in February, so we're good there. Nothing went into the car repair fund, but I did spend $98.89 on I don't think I did my registration. I think I was able to do that last month, but no, possibly. Yeah, I think it was this month. So my registration for my car, and I got new windshield wipers for the front and the back. Do you think I put them on that? No, sure haven't. They're still sitting on my couch. I swap out, don't know if you know this, but you should swap out your windshield wipers, especially if you live somewhere that gets like wintry weather, at the beginning of winter and at the end of winter. Like you just they get a little too wrecked. So I have them for the beginning of winter, but because I've been like sick and not really going anywhere, I haven't bothered to put them on. So I will do that maybe tomorrow. $50 went into my garden fund. I don't always contribute to this, but I like to contribute throughout the winter so that when spring comes, I'm ready with anything that I need to buy for like my yard. If I'm putting in plants or anything like that, I've got some money set aside for that. $500 went into the travel fund because it had to, because there's so much money. Uh, it had none. It had none in there. For the record, I actually closed off some of the different columns for different things. So you have to I had like a running totals over here and stuff like that. So I've closed it off so it's not, but that's where there's no ending one because it's technically in this column that's hidden right now. Um Clothing. I spent $474.98 on clothing. And by clothing, I mean one pair of socks and like 5 pairs of boots. Okay, you know what? I was actually just trying to be funny and exaggerating in the 5, but it really is 5. So I bought 3 pairs that I can kind of wear for work. I bought a pair for hiking in the winter, and I bought a pair of snow boots because the ones I have, like, just completely fell apart at the end of last year, probably the last snowstorm we had last year. I, like, went to put the boots on and go out and shovel snow, and, like, the stitching around where, like, the leather meets the, like, waterproof rubbery part of it or whatever just completely detached, and I was like, "That's cool. That's awesome." So, yeah, I had to buy those too. Cool. Good stuff. It's fine. Anyway, that's it for December's expenses. Again, like I said, I feel like I absolutely set money on fire this month. But it really wasn't as bad as it felt. I think mostly because I had a lot of stuff saved up specifically to be able to spend on those things, so it just felt like I was constantly spending. But then I honestly the whole month was like, "Oh my god, like I'm not going to have any money to put into my emergency fund. Like it's just not going to happen." And then everything kind of settled and I was like, "Oh, just kidding. I do have money I can put in there." So, hallelujah, some got in there. Did I make it to my 20,000? Yeah, you'll have to watch the wrap up video for the year. I'm going to do a video on my goals and kind of do a breakdown of how I did, so you can watch that video to find out. But that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.